Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the special session. Namaskar. Namaskar. Very happy, like always, like always.
Het zou Raymond kunnen zijn natuurlijk.
Namaskar.
Again and again.
Namaskar, namaskar.
Hi, new pulse reader today with Cindy. Welcome, like another Krishna, from the day one to start learning pulse reading.
Start them
Right.
early.
So,
Oh my God, look at that little I love him. Oh my God.
Hoi, dan de player. Ja,
welcome all. Welcome all.
Cindy,
Thank you for joining.
Sitting on my lap and learning like that. I'm reminded of that now. Can I see you like this?
We're going to start her early. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Use your word. Use your word. Say hi.
Raymond,
Hi.
help!
Hi.
Nee, ik denk, je bent druk bezig, ik ga je niet storen.
Nou, het wordt tijd te...
All done. Yeah, hi.
Welcome.
Hello, Dr. Sanjay. Hello, Ilke. Hello, everybody. So nice to see you all. Nusruth, very good. Nice to see you all.
We are seeing companion with everyone.
Yes.
Everyone is well prepared today.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
that's great. Wonderful. Today we will have lots of experience. New
Yes.
learnings, something different than the always, and exciting. And that is something we are always curious to know how to find out so many different things just with 3 fingers in few seconds. How to be able the same, like same capacity with all of us today. Dr. Smita will explain us. She will share her experience and make it easy for all of us, the practice, what to do. Before that, I would like to share a good news. Just in 3 days, not less than 3 days of announcement about the India Immersion Week, we have so many numbers already. So I don't have now doubt that we will achieve 40 numbers for sure, more than 40 this time. Very good. It looks like definitely every one of us in this group, like 108 people wanting to be here. It looks like all are welcome. Welcome. Thank you. I request and invite Smita Madam to start her session, not to make more delay for exciting things. Yes. Please, ma'am.
Yes. So, namaskar, and I am so happy to see you all. Very, very happy to see you all. And I hope you all received a message that we need to have 1 or 2 volunteers with you. So raise the, from the, there's this, there's a raise hand sign. Can you just raise hand?
Yeah, there is a reaction by chance if you see at the bottom level and you put
Yeah, I got it. Okay, so we have majority people. Wow, amazing. Thank you. That's great. Wonderful. I'm super excited then. Very good. Yeah, almost everybody has someone with them. Okay, so now I'll tell you why did I want us, first of all, before we start any presentation, why did I really want that you all do this practical session today? And in London, I had a chance to meet some of the participants from the path training, and also 2 or 3 other students who are under Dr. Meera. And but I saw that we have great information in our head, but there is total absence of practical wisdom and understanding when it comes to pulse reading. And my commitment and our commitment as an Ayush Shakti team and as a team of Ancient Secret Foundation combined together, we are committed that you all become a great pulse reader. That's the main focus, because then you can understand what's happening in body, mind, and emotions of different people that you meet. So I want to, some of you, when you were there in India, you've heard this story, but I want to say it again because it's something very important for my life. So when I started learning from Dr. Pankaj Naram, and in 1985, okay, this was in 1985, when I was still doing my pharmacy studies, and in the evening I used to go and sit next to him in the clinic, and then he will just check the pulse and say, you have 3 blockages in your arteries. He will say someone, you have fibroids. He will say someone, you have a L4, L5, S1 disc herniated. Somebody will say your disc is reduced in the size so precisely, like a MRI machine, you know, if I connect with today's time. So, and I asked him, how did you know? And he'll say, observe. So, and he just showed me where to put my fingers, and he says, you observe. So I observe. I don't know what I am observing, right? I don't even know what I am observing. But every time I observe and say, okay, it's just beating, it's the pulse. There is a beat. That's what I know. But I surrendered him, and I said, when he said observe, I observed. Every time I asked him a question, how did you know this? Observe. Next time somebody comes and he's like, there was this big Swami who could not walk. So he checked the pulse and he says, you have a problem in your L4, L5, S1, and your alignment is wrong. And if we measure your pechote, you know, we measure your pechote from belly button to the nipple point on 2 sides, it is not aligned. There is at least 1 inch difference. So he made him lay down on the mattress or something, and then we measured, and exactly it was 1 inch difference. He also said which side it was more and which side it was less. So, and then he did the pechote and all this marma, and after some time this big Swami is walking. So I said, but how did you know that he has a problem with his imbalance, pechote, and this problem? And he says, observe. So every time I ask the question, he says, you observe. And 3 years, 2 years are going, and I'm thinking I'm learning nothing. Actually, he doesn't want to teach me, really. He is a very secretive man. He's afraid that I'll be better than him. Literally, this is what I started thinking in my head. And I thought that he is not wanting to teach me. So finally, suddenly one day, I was in the clinic and a patient, was 87, I started my own practice then. So I saw a patient who had and I said, looking at the pulse, I think you have fibroids. So this lady says, yes, I have fibroids. How did you know? And I'm thinking, how did I know? Then I realized that this observe what's going on created the subconscious understanding of typical type of pulse for a similar health conditions, you know. Every time I watched or observed a pulse of a fibroid, there was a pattern registered in subconscious mind, which again got reinforced. And that's how, without my conscious knowledge, I understood how to define fibroid. And then I literally became so good just in next 1 year that I was as good as Pankaj. So then that's what was a lesson for me, that this is the real science and art of observation, experience, constant. But then I saw everybody who came to learn were so frustrated with this process of just observing without any guidance that half of them left it midway thinking it's not possible to learn this. And so we started working in the direction of creating some structure which can guide you again on what to observe, right? Guide you in the direction of what to observe, but observe is not, cannot be eliminated. So I decided in last couple of months, I was thinking how it's going on. Some people have come to India, some sat next to our doctors, mentor doctors, some even sat next to me, and they've learned quite a bit of things. But I think what you need to do is now you go in the field and look at the pulse of lots of people, right? So for this reason, this session, today's session. So I'll now show you how you can do the guided observation again and again and again and again. That is the purpose of this session. So, but before I start presentation, I want to quickly remind you the process of illness very quickly, real quickly. There are mainly 6 steps. First step, in the gut, at the gut level, some toxins are produced. Vata, Pitta, Kapha or Ama. Essentially only these 3. Vata, Pitta. Hey, this little baby is running like Krishna with Clint. Oh my God, I love it. I love the babies joining this session. Sorry, I'm excited. Sorry, I interrupted, but I'm very excited. Wow. Sorry, I didn't see you, Dr. Clint.
They're excited to learn too. They want to be.
I know. We want these kids. Like Krishna learned only 6 months of it. You leave them to me, I'll teach them. All these kids you send me, I'll teach them. 100%. So I'm a bit excited today looking at these kids. Okay. So look at this. He's making such a beautiful face. So this is so let's go through this quickly, the process. So it begins always 5 steps. So remember this in your head. Actually 6 steps, but I made it 5 now. Basically 6 steps. First, gut level, Agni is not working. So anything you eat, good or bad, anything, it converts into either Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Excess, so Vata, Pitta, Kapha we want, but it is converted into excessive Vata or Pitta or Kapha, depending on your constitution and what you eat, or what's your lifestyle, what's your exposure to trauma or stress. Then the second thing is Agni and Ama. So Agni, and if the Agni is bad, it can also produce Ama. So one of these 4 will be always produced. Over a period of time, constantly this process happening for years and months, it is accumulated in the gut, impacting the gut health. And from there, so you will have all the symptoms of poor gut health like bloated, acid reflux, heavy feeling. As soon as you eat, there is a stone type of feeling, the tongue is coated white, there is a foul smell. All these different symptoms will be there initially. And from there, when it is accumulated too much, it pushes into the bloodstream. And from there, it circulates throughout the body. And depending on your weak spot, and depending on a type of dosha or ama, whichever is accumulated, then it is pushed into the tissues. And that's the 3rd step, you know. So creation, accumulation in the gut. 3rd is the pushing in the bloodstream and circulating. 4th is accumulating in the site, whichever is weak. For example, excessive air will get accumulated in joints always. Excessive mucousy toxins like kapha or ama will be attracted in the rasa plasma tissues and create thyroid or that kind of a endocrine diabetic, that kind of a situation. Or excessive pitta always will attracted in the blood and finally under the skin or some other areas wherever the pitta gets accumulated. So accordingly, so there is already that clearly defined. I'm sure you've learned it over a period of time, which dhatus are attracting which doshas, you know, you must have learned that. And which dhatus have which sabadoshas, sabadhat tissues. So even those sub tissues, it can get accumulated, right? So now that's the stage where it is accumulating. And then fifth stage, if whenever there is a trigger, okay, whenever there is a trigger, suddenly there will be a prakop, which means there is a explode. There are suddenly symptoms exploded and you're thinking, oh my God, I never had diabetes and my sugar went up to 300. How is it possible? Or I never had any skin issue and now I have psoriasis for last 6 months like a epidemic, you know. Or I never had any situation of tumor in my life and now suddenly cancer, from where this came? So this is, or heart problem or this or that, but that is because of this process. And this is what we want to find in the pulse. Remember, that's why these 5 steps in the pulse. So now there is explode, and then we suppress by taking allopathic medication because we want to, of course, not suffer, or we don't know what to do to control it immediately. So whatever, you know, the doctor says we do, or sometimes we don't do, but we suffer. We try some yoga, some diet, some lifestyle. It is reduced, but not really gone because it is happening for years and years. I mean, you say it now, but the process is going on behind the scene for lot of years. So finally, this thing is not controlled, and that it enters into the 6th step, which is it creates the side effects. So diabetes, chronic kidney problem, heart problem, retina problem, all this situation, fatty liver, okay, or joints, arthritis, very chronic, can then go into severe immobility, stiffness, and then also the hair loss and the nail broken and different things. So this is the 6th stage which you have lot of side effects of this chronic situation. These are the 6 steps. So we want to find out in the pulse what is the behind the scenes situation. So what exactly dosha imbalance, ama is produced or not, where it is depositing, in which area. This we understand through vata moving, which tissue is getting polluted by this particular toxins, and finally what is blocked. Because when the srotas, the channels are blocked, the nourishment is not going, and more degeneration, more side effect. So these 5 things we have to learn so that you can plan, make a precise plan of action for the person who comes to you. Because always my teacher, and especially Dr. Naram, said that never give a name to the disease. Remember what's happening behind the scene and plan of action to fix it using 6 tools of Ayurveda. That's it. Then only you can get rid of this problem from the root and create a long-lasting, almost permanent relief. So now I would share my PPT quickly, and then we will have a practical session. Okay, right. I hope it's happening. Okay, right. Can you see me and can you see the presentation? Okay, great. So now we will do practical session once I finish it. So I'm reminding quickly, you have a partner with you. make them sit in the power position, and you also will sit in the power position, which means your feet flat on the ground, and you have you are sitting in the very straight position like this, which is power position, and you have to remove the person whose pulse you are taking, the glasses, and hand should be kept flat, and your right hand to their right hand. Okay, we will have mentors who will guide this again, so you don't have to remember, but I'm still running through it. Locate the radial bone, because that's important. Just under the wrist there is a bone, so you don't have to put your finger on the bone. Just below the bone will be the ring finger, then the middle finger, and then the first finger, right? So and keep your fingers flat, because sometimes the pulse, this is not a machine that it is the same in every human being. So sometimes the pulse is going straight, sometimes going crossward, so you don't miss anything. And then it is important that you have the pressure, which is for under the vata finger, which is the ring finger, very minimal pressure, as if you are just touching the skin. In the middle finger, which is the pitta finger, press little bit firmly, but not so deep. While in the kapha finger, you pulse very deep, very firmly, until you don't feel any pulse. So that kind of a pressure is the right pressure. Remember that. If you don't press it right, you will not get it right. So right kind of pressure is very, very, very important. Then I will now teach you how to find Vikruti and Prakruti. So this is the balance dosha in the pulse. Okay. So if you don't feel kapha finger, in spite of pressing it hard, you don't feel the pulse, it means kapha is in balance. If you press middle finger properly in the right pressure and you don't feel any pulse, which means pitta is balanced. While in vata finger, you have a superficially placed fingers and you still don't feel any pulse, which means vata is balanced. So this is balanced dosha pulse. And then in the imbalanced dosha, it is going beyond there, whatever level I explained. So if you place it right and you are feeling strong pulse in the vata finger, then vata is imbalanced. There is a lot of vata symptoms. So now please open your palm and keep it in front of you. Okay, please open your palm and keep it in front of you. And in the form, there is written symptoms of vata, symptoms of excessive pitta, symptoms of excessive kapha. So we will do, when we do the pulse reading, we will do 5 times the same person's pulse, but only for 15 to 30 seconds each time. But in general, when you are practiced, you don't do 5 times, you do it everything in 1 time. So first focus on dosha and feel which one is jumping more, whether it is vata, whether it is pitta, or whether it is both of them or 3 of them. There could be 3 of them, that is tridosha pulse, which is either cancer or pre-cancer. So then you ask questions which are written in those papers. And if answer is right for many of those symptoms, then you have to think that you are holding it correct, your placement is correct, and you will find the right thing. Okay, you will have a mentor to guide you. So if you don't find whatever you are feeling and you ask question, they say, no, I don't have these symptoms. I don't. Go back again, take your pulse and go back again and put it right. Put your fingers right on the wrist, under the radial bone, and then check it again and ask again, and you will get it. You will get it. When you get it, you understand this is the correct pressure. This is the correct pressure. Then you make sure you use the same pressure each time, same each time. And don't worry initially. If they will say, oh, I don't have it, no problem, you take it back. Okay, let me check again. And then you check it. It's okay. There's nothing, nobody's here to take examination of yours, okay? So just do it. When you do 100 pulse, so go in today's session, we do the practical, but you will have to do it a lot in the supermarket. I really admire Afsani here. I don't know if she's there, but she literally in the university when she's teaching, she is asking, I am learning this pulse reading. Do you mind me taking your pulse? And somebody will say, yeah, it's okay. So she will take and she will say, do you feel this and do you feel that? And sometimes she's right, sometimes she's not. And then she'll say, yeah, I'm just learning. So maybe I didn't get it right. And some people will say, no, okay, then she's sorry. Thanks for listening to me. So, so don't be afraid. That will make you open up because you need to work with people. So your assignment for a month is 100 clients, okay? 100 clients. So now this is the format you have got, aggravated Vata format. Pitta will be like this. What is the normal Pitta pulse? I think we will probably, sorry, I'm not able to, yeah, there was some sound coming, so possibly we have to mute. Okay, so you know what is the balanced Pitta pulse? It is at the second level. But if in the Pitta finger, the pulse is going beyond middle level, your pressure is correct, but you are still, and in spite of that, you are feeling the pulse. It means there is a vikruti of Pitta, imbalance, and you have to then ask Pitta symptoms, right? You need to ask the Pitta symptoms. So I'm not reading the symptoms because you have it in the format. Please look at the format, that's what we are going to use as a guideline. Kapha, same situation. You are placing it correct and you are feeling it in your pulse. Then there is a problem that there is a kapha. Okay, imbalance. And sometimes the pulse, Vata is going 3 level high. So you feel it for a second and then it goes away. That means it is not kapha imbalance. It is something else, which we will see in the next section. So what was the first step in the direction of ill health? Production of excess dosha or ama at the gut level. So we need to find out which excess dosha or ama is there in the body. That is the first step. And we find it by checking the pulse and confirming the symptoms. So now in ama, there are 2 types. One is extremely low Agni, where Pitta is so low that even if you press the middle finger a little bit deeper, you don't feel the pulse. You barely feel it. That means the Agni is extreme low. But that is a rare situation nowadays because people have underlying Pitta. Most people have good Agni but ama. In most of the situation, they will feel pulse. Normal pulse is always jumping like one duk 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 duk. With ama, it is jumping duk duk. So there is a little pause, as if pulse cannot come up. It's so heavy, like a weightlifter. It goes down with the heavy weightlifting. And then when it is coming up with that same weight, it's coming up very slowly because it's heavy. So ama is heavy, sticky, mucousy. That's why the pulse goes down heavily and comes up even super heavily. And there is a little micro pause at the bottom, which you will find out when you see the ama pulse. If you find this thing, then ask the questions. You have open your form. In that there is, because ama pulse can be either in Vata finger or Pitta finger or Kapha finger. Why? Because we need Vata, Pitta, Kapha. It is always there in our body, but we don't need ama. It is a toxin. We don't need it. So it can be with, we call it sama dosha, which means dosha with ama always. Okay. So it depending on which finger is jumping more, which dosha is jumping more, and where you feel ama, those will be the symptoms. So you will find out and you will ask the question to whoever's pulse you are checking. Do you have this? Do you have this? If you feel ama in vata finger, you ask colic, constipation, lethargy, pain in joints, limb. So you will get the answer and you will understand, okay, which kind dosha is mixed with ama. So that's the second step. Third step, as I told you, that these toxins or dosha begin to move throughout the body. And it cannot move without the help of vata. Just to give you a common example, I'm sure you've learned this theoretically, but imagine, think about spring or autumn we just left, right? So when there is a huge vata, the air is breezing, only then the pollens can transfer from one place to another. I have 2 avocado trees in my garden, and 2 years ago, there were a lot of flowers, no avocados came. So I was surprised why. And then I started learning and reading through internet, how does avocados grow? And I found that it's a complex process. The wind is playing major role. If there's no wind in a right direction to bring the pollen to another male and male pollen to the female in avocado trees, you cannot get the fruits. And last year, I had fruit, but they didn't grow big. They all fall out. Why? Because the tree has blockage. It's not getting nourishment from the ground. So this is the tissue problem now. So this year we sorted everything. Hopefully avocados come. But by this example, I'm just explaining every living being is following the same process. The universe, microcosm and macrocosm. Macrocosm is us inside living being, and macro is big one, the gross universe, and the micro is us, is functioning in the same way. What you see in the nature is happening inside our body. So vata pushing ama and doshas, and wherever it pushes, you will understand where the problem is lying. So that is the third step we have to look, and that third step will teach you where the problem is lying. So if vata is going one arrow high, which means pulse is jumping 1, 2, 3, not like this, it should jump. But instead of that, pulse is jumping, but not coming down on the same place. From vata finger, it's going towards pitta, and from pitta to vata. That is pulse going one arrow up. So the problem is lying between vata and pitta site. Vata site is the belly button. Pitta site is diaphragm. You must have also studied the sites of doshas, right? So this is the area where the problem lies. And then you can make combination. If there is excess vata, then too much gas. If there is inflammation, there is IBS. If there is high pitta, there is ulcer. Autoimmune, there is colitis. You can always make a combination, you see. So that's how, but first, and then we will look at the symptoms. But vata going 2 level high is always jumping from vata to pitta finger to kapha finger, and going back from kapha to pitta to vata finger. Sometimes it is going like this, or sometimes fast and coming back fast. Both ways, it is okay. Both can happen. That means the problem is between this kapha site and vata site, umbilicus and throat. This is where the problem is. And if it is jumping from vata to pitta finger to kapha finger, there is a good chance that it is only between diaphragm and throat. That's it in this area. Okay. And then 3 level high means it is jumping beyond kapha finger. So for a fraction of a second, it is lost, and then it comes back again. And then that means the problems are above the throat, in the head, stress, anxiety. If vata is going high with pitta, migraine. If there is blockage pulse, maybe there is a tumor in the head. So we will talk, this is very deep, but let's focus one step at a time, like we learn a language. And then vata going around. This you find typically either in kapha finger or in pitta finger or in vata finger. That means the pulse is going in circular direction always, instead of going upward or something like this. And then another one which is not written here. So circular direction pulse means there is always a spine problem. And this circular pulse, if you find it in kapha finger, then the spine problem is in the throat, this kapha side. If it is in the pitta finger, that means middle back problem, thoracic problem. If this is in the low vata finger, that means lower back. And then the three vertebrae, L4, L5, S1, are under the finger, under the ring finger. So as I told you earlier, you imagine as if human being is lied down and place kapha finger on the kapha side, pitta finger on the pitta side, vata finger on the vata side, and you will understand where the problem is. It's very easy. This is very easy, And then if it is going beyond kapha vata finger towards the wrist, then everything, pain, everything under the belly button, knee pain, hip pain, ankle pain. Maybe if there is low circulation, there is a DVT, deep vein thrombosis in the leg. Okay, so we'll talk about this. So now today we will do this, only vata going around, and then you confirm these symptoms. What are the symptoms? Okay, these are the symptoms. We have already given you the symptoms. There's a description which I already did right now. Yes. So these symptoms are there in your form, in the form that you printed. Did you find this one? Did you find it? Say yes. Say yes. Okay, great. So that's what we will look at, depending on what you have. And then we want to know which tissue is polluted by these toxins. So beige means always respiratory tissue, fatty tissues, muscular tissues, adipose tissues. These are the things connected with the fibroid, myoma, lymphoma. Lymphoma, why? Because the rasa tissue also attracts always kapha. Muscle and meda also attracts kapha. So muscle attracting kapha is fibroids. Meda is lipoma or obesity. And respiratory tissue prana can be blocked by kapha. So these are the main thing you will find. If there is heat, so beige description, if you want, you write it down because you might find it. Beige description is when you feel the wall is damp, very, very damp. You touch it and you feel this humidity feeling on the wall. Same feeling, watery feeling you feel in the pulse or on the skin. This is beige. Please write it down. And the heat pulse means pitta is settled in the tissues. And what are the tissues which attracts pitta? Mostly blood tissues, always, always. Sometimes artav and shukra as well. Sometimes majja as well. So majja, when attracts the tissue, there is a problem with the bone marrow. And there could be, if not tridosha, there could be anemia. A lot of pitta people have anemia because the bone marrow is impacted. So, or liver is impacted sometimes. So depending on which is the site where vata is moving, if there is heat, then it could be either headache or skin problem, or you have a lot of lists there, so you can look in the form which is given to you. But heat pulse typically is where you feel the skin little bit hot, and in the pulse there is a heat feeling, hot feeling. It's not you don't feel a normal temperature. You feel as if you're touching something warm, something heated. And that's the feeling of heat actually. And VAT is the pulse where Vata pulse is moving towards the wrist and coming back. This is the pulse where tissues are impacted by Vata. Most tissues which are always impacted are nervous system and bone tissue, sometimes muscles. So you will always find a problem related with that, and you can always ask questions. Sometimes obesity is also related with air pumped in and bloated like a balloon. So you can always find out if it is obesity from Vata or obesity from Kapha. You can always find out, or hormonal imbalance. So today we will do only this today, right? These 5 steps. We are not doing the 6th one, which is the side effect of the original problem. This we don't do today. 6th one is Srotas. That we don't do. We do only these steps. Number 1, dosha, ama, where Vata is moving and which tissue is impacted. We do only this. In the tissues, there are 5 problems. So remember 5 problems. Actually 3. 1, we call it dhatu dushti, which means tissues are polluted by Vata, Pitta, Kapha or Ama, which is what are this heat, Bhej and VAT points. The second problem is dhatu kshay. Dhatu kshay. Dhatu kshay, which means degeneration of tissues. Degeneration of tissue is always a very thin thread-like pulse. Very, very thin thread-like pulse. That means whatever problem is there, it has created impact. This is the 6th point, but I am telling you right now. And another 3rd point in the tissue section is dhatu vruddhi. It's too technical, but I'm so happy he's there. So dhatu vruddhi. Dhatu vruddhi means excessive growth of the tissue. This you feel it as an extra beat. When the pulse is moving, there is always that extra beat, either between Vata, Pitta finger, Pitta, Kapha finger, or even beyond Kapha. Depending on where there is a growth, this extra beat will come. This is known as dhatu vruddhi. So we will then discuss disease pathology, but first you understand this point today in a practical way. So now my lecture is over. I hope I took a little bit longer, but I think it was important to touch the basics. Okay, so I would like to stop sharing. Okay. And back to our session. Yes. Okay. So I hope this was clear, not overloaded. I can take a couple of questions very, very quickly. Maybe you all can put it in the chat box and we take, Cornelia can help me. Or maybe you can ask the questions to the mentor and then we leave it at the end. What do you say, Dr. Hemang? And we go in the breakout room straight away?
Yeah, we do
Okay.
the practice.
Let's go breakout room and I'm going to see you all there anyways. I'm going to move around.
Now, the idea is what we understood from Smita ma'am, that we will do the practice on hand. Okay, we will check the pulse and in the breakout room. So every mentor is ready there. All the doctors, they will, you check, every one of us will check the pulse. Like we all have the someone next to us. We're checking the pulse step by step, follow the same rhythm as explained, and you all have the form, they follow the rhythm. Mentor doctors are there in the each breakout room. They'll guide you. You can ask the questions. Question only about the rhythm to follow. Other than the subject, other than this point, we will have the question answer afterwards. Right now, our priority and focus to ask the question only on this subject.
And
Okay.
write down the name of the person you are examining and health concerns and the pulse also in front of it. So you'll be clear, and if possible, write down how you can balance the situation using the diet, lifestyle, murmur points, herbal formulas, wherever you can understand, and maybe home remedies. So just write it down, whatever you understand, it's fine. But mainly today's session, we are only learning pulse reading. Remember, how to fix it is not today's focus, right?
Perfect. So now maybe we can request Cornelia to help us and believe that
So
all.
I want to say thanks to every volunteers who are here today for supporting your friends and family members to learn. Keep
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So we have ready, all the mentors are there in the first group wise, and if it will be helpful to Cornelia to mention your name with the group number, path group number, so it will be easy. So you can choose.
I
Yeah,
have
Cornelia,
already
you can guide. Yeah, please.
I have already assigned most of the people. I have 1 or 2 that are not assigned. Room 8, Dr. Ramchandra doesn't have a doctor at the moment. Dr. Ramchandra is not here yet.
Okay, so all those can go to the group number 9.
Okay, so I'm
Everyone who's like not there, the mentor available, go to the group number 9.
yeah, I'll
And
move
group number
everyone
9,
over.
Dr. Mehta madam and Dr. Ketki madam are there. Okay.
And I think in each of the breakout rooms, I have at least one person assigned to record. So you are a co-host, and so you can actually go in and record your session, please. If anyone doesn't have that when you're in there, if you check, then please let me know.
Also,
Because
group
we
number
want
1
all the sessions recorded.
has no mentor available now. Will go to the group number 9.
Yeah, I will just put someone here that is in 6. Okay, then I open up the rooms.
All the best. See you soon. This practice time, breakout room for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, we will be back to the common room, meeting room. Here, we will share our feedback and more questions in general. Please. After 30 minutes, we'll see. Dr. Tom is also here. Good. Dr. Tom also, please join the group number 9. Will be helpful because that group number 9 is a big group. Many people need help. Please, Dr. Tom.
Sure.
Thank you.
Mina, I don't know where you need to go.
The 4 number.
You need some help?
4. Mina 4.
Mina is 4. Okay.
Zoom user, I don't know who is.
Yeah, that is.
Rajeshri Ben, તમારે group number
Radu
9
is
select
7.
કરવાનું. Group 9.
Assign to 9.
Okay, કરું છું ચલો કરી દીધું તમને. ડોક્ટર રાજસી ગ્રુપ નંબર 9 માં જઈને હેલ્પ કરો. ડોક્ટર રાજસી ગ્રુપ નંબર 9. Yeah. Dr. Priyanka Sukla.
Needs to go into 2.
Yeah.
Dr. Ketki, she
9.
is going to 9. Okay.
Yeah. And N is Dr. Priyanka.
Yeah, she's in already. She is in, I think, twice.
Okay.
Dr. Clint, where do you want to go?
Dr. Clint, yeah, you can move around all the groups with us, or you want to stay somewhere. Dr. Subham.
Who is the Zoom user? I just maybe
Yeah,
put him into
don't know.
9.
And
Okay.
Dr. Subham, you go to the 9, okay? And
9.
Giovanni, I think, is in the 5.
Yeah, he was already here.
Okay. Zoom user, can you please let us know your name? I don't know. Who is this? Dr. Subham, select the group number 9 and go inside and talk with the people. And what is N doing? No.
I don't
She's
know.
talking to
She-
someone else, not here.
Okay.
Suzanne, 4 number. Zoom user is a Suzanne. 4 number,
Sus-
need 2.
She's in 2. Okay.
No, 4,
And
need 2.
only
Yeah, 4 number.
Clint.
Is I look at. Giovanni is, yeah, Pranav, 5 number, but says,
So I'll assign you to 9 as well, and Dr. Clint I assign to. Oh,
so
yeah.
we should also go.
Yeah, and I'll join 9 as well. I'm normally
Yeah.
in 1.
So,
And do you need help?
no.
And Safi is, oh, where's Safi?
I'm having a lot of technical troubles. Are we in, oh, I see. I was in for 1 minute, then it kicked me out and I've been trying to get in this whole time.
Safi, where are you? Which room? Who's your
I have no
mentor?
idea. I have no idea. I was listening to Dr. Smita and then I'm
No, I
having
mean, who's normally your mentor? Who's your,
Oh, Dr. Ram.
okay, 8. Okay, yeah, just so I know
Oh.
who to assign you to.
Okay, thank you.
There's no one there, so you go actually in 9
Okay, thank you.
today. Okay, let me put you into assign to.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. And Dr. Clint is assigned Krishna. I assigned Krishna to 9 as well. Cindy. Yeah, leave it. No.
Our breakout room ended too soon. They were still talking.
We had to break. We wanted 30 minutes and we were there for more than an hour. And I know.
Okay. All right.
But we were called back. And so I don't know who actually ended the breakout rooms in the end. Okay, Dr. Hemang, we are all back. Dr. Smita, we are all back in the main room.
Oh, nice. It was like a while moving to one room to another, seeing lots of excitement, a lot of things were happening. Everyone was shaking the pulse and doing a lot of practice. And it was like no one was leaving the breakout room. But unfortunately, we had to like come back to the main room and to move forward. And it's like a non-stop practice. A lot of practice we all need to do always. It's not just 30 minutes or 60 minutes practice, but keeps on doing. The more we do the practice, we become more sharp, perfect. We develop our skill. So it's a necessary here through this session and through this exercise. We want just to have an experience, how to do, what to do, when to do, why to do. Similar way, have a rule, self-disciplined rule that every day I want to do half an hour practice on pulse. Whether the one person or two person, whatever, whoever, the same person in the family, whoever it is, like someone in the office or friend or someone, just keep doing practice more and more. And as like Smita ma'am explained that Dr. Naram sir was always asking 100 pulse each day. It's necessary to become pulse reader. It's not easy. No. The pulse reading, it seems and it sounds while listening, oh, it's easy. But when do it, it's not so easy. But at the same time, I say with the experience, then when you do practice, it is really easy. Then it's a fun, excitement, curiosity, doing again and again, doing again and again. Maybe we can have like a 2 or 3 people experience swearing quickly, and then next part, we move to the something from, yeah, just quick. Anyone wants to say something? If anyone could find something special, yes. Was it interesting? Was it, yeah, challenging? Maybe was something, whatever it is, something to hear, something to learning for us.
I wanted to say this was a very good exercise and we should do this more often. And it was really good to revive some things, and also after such a long break to see how insecure one is, and you know, how much we have forgotten also. And so it is good to do this once in a while.
Not once in a while.
Marty,
Every
put
time.
your camera down. We don't
Every
see your eyes.
No, I mean like as a group to
Yeah.
learn this again
Yes.
and again.
Yes. Yes.
Should be
Do it.
done every day, every day.
Every day. Half an
A
hour
new
practice.
person, half an hour, new person, at least one person every day.
Yeah.
Even when you go out in
Can
the
we
coffee
learn?
shop, supermarket, just maybe request, I'm learning the new thing and I would just want to look at your pulse. Is it okay? Somebody will say no. Then you say, okay, no worries, thank you. Somebody will allow you, and then check the pulse and say, thank you for doing it. And then look at the pulse, ask the symptom, do you have this? And then that person will say yes, no. If it says yes, then you got it. No, then you again check the pulse, because maybe you are not holding it right. So this is how you have to do every day.
And
So how many
enjoy.
of you actually found something? There, I think Arshia. Yeah, Arshia wanted to say something. Tell.
Yes, namaskar. Thank you so much, Dr. Smita, Dr. Hemang, and everyone. This was awesome. This was so practical, and I'm so excited. Keep going now, because Pitta is something that I have a problem, and finally I found it on mom. It was very slow, very shallow. It was going round, and I was so excited. And Dr. Smita was there to tell me what is going on, and it was exact. Her digestion, which is recently she has a problem with. It was her back stiffness, and it was a spine, Dr. Smita, correct? Would you?
Yes. Everything
Yes.
she found, actually, she found the vata excess, vata moving down. So obviously knee problem, the circular vata was a lower back problem. So you can, she only found everything actually through the pulse, and that's what is possible. I think someone will be very late and we are getting hungry, but Dr. Hemang, you can guide this conversation further. We probably have to finish this very quickly now because people are getting hungry. Somebody was, but I'm very proud, Arshia. You actually found everything just by following the process.
Very good.
Namaskar, doctor. It was
Nice.
very good practice. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wonderful. Good, good. Yes, Ilke.
Yeah, my experience is really that, like you all doctors tell us every day, that's the best is to take as many pulses as possible, because then you can compare. Otherwise, you don't know. I don't know what is a real good pulse. I've never had one. So I have to compare what is a high vata, what is a high pitta, what is a high kapha. And each and every pulse is like a fingerprint. They're even so diverse. So it's almost harder. And for me, it makes it more easy to really keep off my head, keep it off and just feel. And don't start to analyze. Oh, this might ba 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 ba. Then I'm gone away again. I want to be in there, just feeling, just comparing, getting out again. And later on, I guess when I'm better in this, then I can start to analyze and to see, oh, it might, whatever, but just go, go, go. And thanks a lot. It was great.
Exactly. This is what we asked without any pre-assumption. Read the pulse. There shouldn't be any like a pre-thought before checking the pulse. Good. Yes, Radu.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for today's session. Wow, that was really, really great, great, great. Thank you very much, professors and the mentors. I don't know, do I have enough time to, if I could just tell in a short my story of taking pulse since the beginnings till now, and how it evolved, or it is not enough time? I don't know. Do you think it's enough time?
You have 2 to 3 minutes. Yes.
2 to 3 minutes. All right. Okay. Wow, that's fast. Yeah. So I just make it very short. So in 2019, I was at some point I was speaking with Dr. Naram, and I asked him